everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay and we are live here on YouTube on my channel Coloring Pages Bliss, and I'm excited to have everyone here. We have been live on Facebook and now we are over here live on YouTube to share some more of the fun doodling that we've been doing, and we're also playing around with these really fun little rainbow swirl gel pens that I picked up over at Target the other day. They were only $5, so I thought they'd be worth playing around with. So I'm kind of making this a part doodle learning and part review as we play around with them. So they came with 8 pens. They're 0.8 millimeter tip, which is a nice tip for coloring and doodling. And so far they've been kind of fun to play with. The colors are pretty unpredictable, which is to be expected with the rainbow type gel. If you look at it, it comes out sort of when it wants to and mixes as it comes out. So this is the colors we're getting out of them. Like green, this is the green pen. That's nowhere near green.
Oh, really?
See that? Is that green to you?
Wow.
This is my husband Steve. He's here as my co-pilot and co-host.
Hello.
And I was just about to test them to see what they would look like on black. We had that question on Facebook and I didn't have time to see what they would do on black. So I've grabbed a piece of black paper and thought we would do a little swatch here real quick as people are gathering, and then we'll do some more doodle prompts. Steve's going to share out a link to get these doodle prompts if you'd like them. It's totally free on my website to download these doodle prompts. There's 40 of them, plus a page where you can fill in your own doodle prompts that you find online, which is fantastic. And then you can keep them handy with you, and anytime you need some time to doodle on your coloring pages or just to pass the time and help you relax, you'll have them handy and ready to go. All you have to do is sign up to be a free member, and it's absolutely free, always free and forever. And we are very careful to protect your your email that you share with us, so it will always stay with us. We don't share it with anyone, so you can feel confident in sharing your email with us and getting your free download. So that's over on my website. Steve will share that link. I wonder if you can share it in the video description or if you just do it in the comments. Anyway, he'll check that out and see what he can do. So while I'm doing a little swatch here, maybe if you want to say hi, you can shout out and say hi.
Oh, our Kentucky mountain girl came over.
Hello. Hello, we're going to test this here on the black and see how these show up. I'm hoping they show up. Some gel pens don't do so good on black, so we'll see.
Annalise says, hey all, my first live stream. I finally get to be here.
Yay, welcome.
She's from New Mexico.
YouTube live streams are really fun. I like the way the chat works, but the only bad thing about the chat with YouTube is it doesn't save it like it does over on Facebook. So like later, once we're done, you can't go back and reread all the comments. So that's a good reminder to Steve so he can read the full comment out. Look at that, once it dries, it kind of just disappears. I'll do a few more here and we'll see what it does. Orange pen.
George says hi.
Hello.
Karen says hi from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands, welcome. That's cool.
Nancy Thomas says hi.
Hi, Nancy Thomas. I assume that's Nancy Thomas,
yep,
my
your
sister.
And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Annalise says your pages are awesome, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you, Annalise. Oh, that's so nice of you.
And George is from the UK.
Welcome, George.
And we have Tina from Ohio, first time being here.
Welcome. Oh, that's so cool. We're getting several first-timers here.
And Terry, hi. I love your tips.
Thank you. We're going to have fun doodling today. I don't know if you guys do much doodling, but I love to doodle.
And Carly is also from the Netherlands. She's here. And Lisa followed us over from Facebook. First time catching you live on YouTube here.
Welcome, Lisa. I'm glad you followed us. You didn't get lost in the virtual world.
Tina says, oh, the yellow doesn't look too hot.
No, none of them are. They look like they're going to do good, and then as they dry, they just sort of disappear into the black. So I don't think it's even worth doing. I don't know if it's worth doing them all. Although this is giving people time to gather. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting like and maybe sharing this out into the world, that would be great. It helps my channel, and it will also help gather a few more people in. And the more likes and shares it gets, then YouTube starts sort of organically sharing it around and suggesting it to other people. So that's why YouTubers are always asking you for likes and shares and comments, because it helps the little YouTube engine to start sharing and suggesting it to other people. If you wondered why us YouTubers are always saying, please like.
Woohoo! I said Annalisa's name right.
Oh, good! That's a pretty name. It sounds like a Disney princess name.
It's spelled really pretty too.
Oh, cool. I don't like that the inside core is like shaking, get moving around in these pens so much. Makes me feel like they're not tightened down or something.
Sarah Moon 60 sounds like she's waiting in the car, waiting for a physical rehab, so she's watching us from there.
Wow, that's exactly the time I'm usually doodling, when I'm waiting for a doctor's appointment. Yeah, these just don't like the black. I'll move it in the light for you. And here's the green pen that doesn't draw green. Are you ready? This is such a... You would think they'd load it with a little bit more green ink. Maybe it'll eventually get greener as we draw more with it.
We have Amanda says hi.
Hello.
Tina says, just recently found you, and I'm glad I did. I mean, this is the best way, but sometimes when I can't sleep, I like to listen to your videos. They're very soothing.
Oh, that's so nice of you. I had someone, I don't know how many months ago, suggest I do a whole series of just me talking soothingly so people can fall asleep to me. I was like, I think that's a compliment. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'll move this in the light and you can see how it did in the black. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say these are not made for drawing on black paper. But that's okay, because a lot of gel pens are not made for drawing on black paper. So far, the best ones I've found are the Sakura Jelly Roll Moonlight. Those are like stellar on black paper. If you know of any other gel pens that are great on black paper, just comment and let Steve know. So I'd love to have some more that are good on black paper. So, but they are fun as far as just doodling. So let's get to doodling, because doodling is fun. Okay, so like I said, if you want to come to my website, coloringpagesbliss.com, I have these free prompts that you can download. There's 40 different cool little prompts for doodling and textures. These are things you can add to coloring pages you're coloring, or to your art, or if you have a sketchbook that you just doodle in for when you're bored, or you need some warm up before you do some other art, or if you're like me and you take a sketchbook with you absolutely everywhere you go, and when you're at church or at a doctor's appointment or sitting in front of Netflix and you're in pain and you need something to pass the time, these prompts are awesome to have in front of you, because they give you a place to start and an idea to start. Oh, I'll do number 26, and it'll give you something to do, and then you can start adding your own twist to them, and they're so much fun. And these are free, and it also comes with a blank page where you can fill in other doodles that you find. I'm over on Pinterest, and I have a whole board there filled with doodle prompts and doodle ideas. They're called Zentangles, they're called tangles. There's all kinds of different words that they use for this kind of doodling. So you can Google it, you can come over to Pinterest and check out my board if you want to, and fill up this whole blank page with a whole bunch of other ones that you'd like to play around with in your art. So this is a fantastic little free download you can come and get on my website. Also, while you're there, if you wouldn't mind considering becoming a premium member, it's just $5 to be a premium member on my website, and that's only $5 a month, and you can cancel anytime you want. It gives you access to over 300 coloring pages like this one. This is my latest cute coloring page. If you didn't see it already here on my YouTube channel, there's a time lapse of me drawing this cute little gnome. I have a series of Scandinavian gnomes, and they're all doing kind of fun things. This guy's gone to Hawaii. Anyway, so you can download him. There's also all kinds of other really cool worksheets and things to help you with your coloring. And anyway, lots of great resources over on my website. So come and check it out. So after that spiel, we are ready to doodle. So what we were doing over on Facebook is I was having people shout out a number that they would like to have me demonstrate and teach you how to do that particular doodle. And Steve is here waiting anxiously for you to shout out a number. And the ones that have highlighter on them, we already demonstrated over on Facebook. So you can pop over there and watch that video. That's these ones right here. I demonstrated all of these using the rainbow gel pens. These I picked up at Target for just $5. We found them on Amazon, and I think they were like $15 for the same package on Amazon. So if you have a Target in your area, that's definitely the way to try these out. They were only $5. They're by Right Dudes, and they're kind of fun. They're not the best quality pens I've ever used, but they would be really fun for having around for doodling and note taking in class and that kind of stuff. So they'd be awesome for planners too, because they're so fun. So what doodle are you guys interested in me demonstrating?
Okay, let's see. We have Nancy requested 16.
Okay, that's this one right here. Should we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a few more requests, so we can move through them. Actually, quite a few requests.
Very good.
So
okay, we'll move fast then. Okay. We'll just add to this page then, and I've got my little template here to help.
I did put in the description, I went over and put a link to download that worksheet.
Perfect. So in the video description now, just click on there and you can find your link, and it will take you straight over and get you where you need to be to download all of these doodles. So we're going to do, was it 16?
Yes.
Okay. So in a minute I'll ask you guys to shout out the next number again. And we're going to use the green that's not green right now.
Mary says, I just finished doodling with my Doodle Art Pro pens I saw you demo.
Oh, fun.
And let's see, there was another question. Oh, Karen said, if you like, I will send you the doodle pages to see what I did if you like. So maybe she could go to the Facebook group?
Yeah, the Facebook group is a good place to post that, or as a picture in the, below as a comment in that post over on Facebook where we did the live video. That's another great place.
Facebook.com/coloringpagesbliss is our page.
Okay.
I think our group is, you have to do like facebook.com/groups/coloringpagesbliss or something like that.
Wow, okay.
Search for it.
Okay, so this one, now remember with doodling in general, if you're doing this to relax and to for stress relief and for pain relief and just for general therapeutic purposes, you're not supposed to use rulers. So that was the rule that we were debating over on Facebook.
That's right.
No rulers. So this one, you're going to be tempted to pull out a ruler because you're going to want everything to be lined up and these little squares to be just so nice and neat. But I want to also suggest to you that this could be really cool if you did it sort of in a triangular fan type pattern and have the pattern start out small and then expand out really wide. So there's lots of ways to do all of these patterns. So I think that's one reason why they say throw out the ruler and do it freehand. So let me show you how to do it without a ruler and embrace this no ruler thing, because that means that's one less thing you have to haul around, right? To the doctor's office and stuff when you want to doodle. So what I'm going to do is lay out some dots, and that's going to be my my markers to help me do this pattern. And I'm just going to kind of do as best as I can to get them evenly spaced. Anytime I do these dots, it reminds me of that game that you play with dots. I don't know if you guys ever played that game. When I was young, in my church meetings, my siblings and I had a little game we would play. I'm going to sneak in another. Nah, we'll just have the pattern hang off the side. Anyway, we had a game we played where you put the dots down and connect up the lines to help pass the time during a particularly long and boring church meeting. Okay, so then this one, we're going to connect up the dots using, instead of straight lines like that game, we're going to connect up the lines using a more of a bubble type line. And so everywhere you see two dots, we just connect them up with a bubble. And we'll just go very relaxed lines. Remember, with doodling, you want your arm and your hand to be relaxed, which is always with all art. You want to be as relaxed as possible. It helps you be able to do art longer, which we all want to do art longer. If you're in pain, like I have hand pain, so that's even more important that you make sure your hand is relaxed, because you don't want to be causing more pain. Another reason why you want to be relaxed is because your lines and your strokes will look prettier. So that's really important. And I've had another point and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, it just helps you to relax, to zen out, to the whole point for me when I'm doodling is to pass time. Usually it's because I'm stressed or I'm anxious or I'm in pain or I'm stuck in line somewhere and I want to pass time. And so if you're all tense and stressed, then you're defeating the purpose here. So you want to relax your arm and enjoy the pattern. So you go ahead and you do all these lines this way, all these cute little bubbles, and then I'm always constantly turning my paper when I'm doing doodles so that I can see really good where I'm going. Now this one, when you come to the edge of a section of a field that you're filling, you can just sort of end your pattern like that, as if it got sliced off. That's what you just imagine, it got sliced off. And that's how this pattern is built. It's really easy. The dots are the trick. Now I've seen this pattern done where instead of using dots, they'll draw a little open circle right there. And then that gives you an opportunity to fill that circle. You could color that circle in. I've seen this pattern done where instead of a dot, it's a little flower right there. So you can make these patterns as simple as you want, or you can complicate it all up if you want and make lots of details and really change up the pattern to be your very own. It's really fun. Very simple and fun. And see, this green pen still hasn't turned green. So I don't think these pens would be very great for, like, if you wanted to color something very specific, that you wanted a very specific color. It would be more for just fun coloring, I think. Okay, so that's this pattern. Probably would also add that. There we go. So that's number 16. I'll bring it up so you can see. Pretty easy. Most of these are easier than what you think they're going to be once you see them demonstrated. All right, Steve. Are you just chatting away over there?
Yeah. Diamond Dead LOL asked, "How are you texting whilst drawing?"
That's my husband, Steve.
You're very talented.
Yeah, I wish I could do both things at the same time. No, that's Steve. He's my husband and my co-host and my business partner.
They said it's 2104 in England. That's where they're from. So.
2104, is that the time?
Yeah, so that was...
So that's
sorry,
9...
We're not on.
9:04 p.m. So it's bedtime. Okay, we just did 16. I'm going to mark that one off so you guys can shout out the next number you want to see.
Let's see. Christian requested 29.
29. Ooh, the flames. That's very
nice.
Hot Wheels. That's what I think of as my son's Hot Wheel cars when I see this one. It also reminds me of like kelp in the bottom of the sea or something. That's what that reminds me.
And Nancy says thanks. Way easier to see how to do it when you show it.
Yeah, I agree. They always look way complicated, and then once you've seen it demoed, it's like, oh, I can do that. Why haven't I tried this before? Okay, we're going to do just the straight up square for this one so we can have lots of kelp. Should we call them kelp or flames, Steve? What do you want? This is a manly one.
I don't know.
You get to say. And we've got somebody's cutting a tree or something out there.
I don't know if Christian is male or not, but probably. And so flames. Better go for flames.
Okay, we'll call them flames. Hot Wheels flames. If Christian is from the US, he will know. I wonder if Hot Wheels is ubiquitous outside of the US. Ubiquitous? I'm just making up words now. Well, I'm not making up words, but I'm using them however I want. 29. Okay, this is the blue pen. I think it's finally starting to look more bluish. We'll see how it does here with our flames. Okay, so the trick with the flames to make them look cool is to have them overlapping. So some go under, some go above. And that's how you get this cool effect. I hope that background noise isn't going to bug you guys too much. Somebody outside is making noise, so if you hear something weird, that's what that is.
Whacking or something?
Yeah. Okay, so, the other thing that's cool about this is they reach out towards each other, and some will actually cross into the zone, I guess, of the other one. So they're kind of crossing their fingers out into each other. That's the cool thing about this pattern. So we're going to have some shorter flames and some really long flames, and then same for coming in the other direction. And we could have all four sides if we wanted to, which would be a cool variation. So they're all four coming into the middle, but we're going to stick with the way I showed it here and just have them coming in two sides. Okay.
Christian, by the way, is from New Orleans.
New Orleans, so you know about Hot Wheels. You've probably seen actual real cars with flames on them.
And Diamond Dead LOL says, I have to go now. Going to bed. It's late. Got school. So thanks for the doodles.
Oh, thanks for joining us, and sleep good. Okay, so I did that pretty quick. I drew kind of a wonky, this is my word that I use all the time when I'm doodling, a wonky triangle with a long point, and then I drew a line next to it and filled it in, and that's sort of its shadow or its side. And I usually pick one side to have all the shadows on, and that's kind of a fun way to do it. So a wonky line. Oh, this pen, come on. Come on, we might have to abandon the blue pen here.
It's not working.
There, I got it to draw. Okay, so just kind of a wonky triangle. So think triangles that are distorted, and then a line next to it. And I usually don't go all the way to the top, but you can do anything you want here. This is just the way I did it. And fill it in. And then I'm going to do a couple more, and then we're going to start underlapping, actually. Is that a word? Underlapping?
Robbie asked if there was a link for the pens.
We found it on Amazon, this particular package. I bought these on at Target for only $5, all 8 pens. We found the same package on Amazon for like $15. Wasn't it $15?
Yeah, 17, something like that. Yeah.
So we decided not to share the link because I didn't want you to have to go out and spend that much more money than what you could buy it at Target for. So just go to your local Target and get it there. Hopefully they'll have them in stock. You could check Target.com too and see if you can order them. Okay, now we get to go underneath them. And then some of them, what I did is had a narrower base and made them go wider. So we're going to try that here. And so we're going to have it think narrow, wide, narrow. So I think ahead like that before I draw the line, because we're obviously not using pencil, so you can't erase what we're doing. And that's another thing you can do is start with pencil and then go over it with ink. But we're just going for it here.
And Christian says, oh, and thanks for choosing Hot Wheels Flames.
You're welcome. Okay, so we laid down the first line, and then we're going to go next to it and go kind of fatter. This flame's got a fat belly, and then it comes narrower. And we'll add just a little bit of a shadow next to it, like that.
Linda asked, what's the difference between Doodles and Zentangling?
Okay, Zentangle is sort of like a purposeful, meditative doodling process. They have, there's almost rules to it where you have a specific shape or size. They have you do you start with a line and then you start filling the shapes. You can't use rulers. The patterns need to repeat a specific way. And then you do it in a mindful manner where you're meditating almost while you're doodling. That's like the theory behind Zentangle.
And it's a
therapy,
trademark
and the word Zentangle itself is copyrighted and trademarked and everything. So you can go to Zentangle.com and read all about it, all about their theory. You can also go to, I think it's Tangles.com, where there's a whole bunch of these types of patterns that you can look at. But that's not the official Zentangle. You can find officially certified Zentangle people who can train you to do it if you want to. Or you can do like me and just go to the University of YouTube and learn on stuff like this and teach yourself. Yeah, that's the difference. Okay, I'm adding a few flames that reach out and across now.
Ava says that looks more like a gray color to me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the blue and the green is mixing together. And like I said, I don't think you'd actually want to color or do any kind of art where you want to really predict the color that's coming out. But for doodling, it's fine because we don't care too much what color comes out.
Luthien0902 says your fingernails are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. This is a Kiss brand. They're glue-on nails. The only problem I have with the matte finish glue-on nails is color pencil draws on them. I discovered that the hard way when I was filming a video last night for this channel. I can't wait for you guys to see this video I filmed last night. Anyway, you guys will see that soon. But I was filming last night and I looked down and I had color pencil marks all over the matte fingernails. I was like, what? I had to use, I finally discovered baby wipes. Took it off.
Tina says it would be cool to do hair with those pens.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Kind of a, is that called ombre?
Yeah. Let's see what they do. Okay, so you get the idea. I could sit here and keep going, but you get the idea on this one, how it works, and you make it so maybe I would draw a really long one right now that would come up in here like this and come down like that with its shadow right here like that. Except I did all the shadows on the right. I probably should have, yeah, they should have been on the left. Okay, so what I did wrong here, I'll write it on here. Oops. Keep shadows. I mean, it's not really a mistake. You do whatever you want. It's your doodle, right? But technically, artistically, you always keep your shadows all on the same side, right? Because your light source would be coming from one side, not two different light sources, right? I guess we, right. So what I was wanting to do was have all the shadow lines on the same side, but when I flipped it around, I kept doing right side shadows, you know. So keep shadows consistent. I'll just write that there so you guys know what I meant by, oops, I did something wrong. Okay, let's move on. All right.
Let's see now. Cupcake 420 requested number 33. I think you did 33 in the last Facebook.
Yeah, if it's got a highlighted square, that means I demonstrated it just last hour over on Facebook Live. So you can, when we're done here, just pop over to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/coloringpagesbliss, and watch it live over there. And you can see me demonstrate it over there, okay? Thanks for requesting that, though, Cupcake something. Yep. I love your name. That's so cute. Now I want to eat cupcakes.
Okay, Kentucky Mountain Girl asked for 31.
Okay. Ooh, 31's pretty. All right, let me mark off.
We have a lot of requests. I don't know if we're going to get through all these. Sorry if we don't have time.
We'll do our best. 29 we just did. Let me mark off the Hot Wheels flames for Christian, right? Wow, I'm always going to remember your name, Christian, now. Okay. Now, it was 31 for Kentucky Girl. Okay. Now I'm going to do the heart. Well, we already did the heart recently. Let's put in the oval for this one. That'll fit here good. And I'm going to use the red violet pen. Except I think that's what I used above.
Olivia asked, hi, you probably get this a lot, but what are your favorite gel pens at the moment? Doesn't skip, vibrant, etc.?
My go-to pens are still the Gel Writer brand. That's these ones right here. I also love the Sakura Jelly Roll. Those are my two favorite brands right now. Yep.
I like those Super Doodles too.
Yeah, those Super Doodles. Yeah, those are my three. I'm thinking of my art desk downstairs. That's where I do most of my coloring, and I'm picturing what I have there. And on that desk I have my Super Doodle gel, the glitter ones. I've got my Gel Writers, and I've got my Sakura Jelly Rolls. Those are like the three I reach for all the time.
Well, you know, and I know that you've said you really like even the dollar store gel pens when you were able to get those.
Yeah, those have kind of been tucked away because I pull for those sets now most of the time. Yeah. So I like a good set, you know, where you got lots of colors to pick from, and so... Okay, number 31. Number 31 is probably one of the ones that will bend your mind the most. But basically, if you look at it in half, it's going to help. Right, like that. Let me bring it up. Now you can see it's actually a mirror image on both sides. So if you tackle it one side at a time, it's going to help. Okay, so you were going to cut the pattern in half. And we're just going to, now I've said this before, you want to help yourself out by not cutting something exactly in half, because then you feel like everything has to be an exact mirror image. So rather than cutting it in half this way, I'm going to cut it in half this way. And then if I have one side that isn't identical to the other, the eye isn't going to pick that up as easily because we've cut it in half at an angle. Does that make sense? I think Steve was reading, so, but it does make sense. Okay. Steve, trust me, it makes sense. Okay, so we're going to ignore this half and start over here. And you're going to do a line like that, and that starts you off on your adventure, okay? And then your next line goes like that. And you just keep repeating. You come down this line now just a little ways and come down. Oh, come on, pen. Help me out. Come down this line a little ways. So we're going to keep working down this line, and we're going to be working down this line. So come down this a bit. Wait, no, over here. See, this is where you get confused. So now we move to this line and come down. And now on the line you just drew, you start here. That's the way to tell yourself. On the line I just drew, we start right here. On the line I just drew, we start right here. Line I just drew, we start right here. And the line I just drew, we start right here. And I usually stop when I reach the end of that line right there. And then I've got a little bit of weight that I add, a little extra ink I add right here to add a shadow at each of those intersections, so it makes it look like there's paper or something that is folding over on itself. So right here at each of these intersections, you just go back with your pen and add a little triangle of ink, and it automatically makes it look now like overlapping fabric or overlapping paper, and that's how you get the dimension. And this is just the beginning of this pattern. I've seen this pattern done a ton of different ways, and you can add details to this. So this is a really fun one. Now when we come to the other side, we want to sort of match up where each of these points are on this line. That's our goal. So we're going to start over here and do that same bowing line that we did here, only it's mirror, and we want to match up where it connects right to here. So keep that in mind as you bring it around and match it up. And then again on the line you just drew, you start right here. Come on, pen. On the line you just drew. Now again, this one now has to match up with the next one down. Right there. On the line you just drew, draw another line. On the line you just drew, come down and match up the next point. Draw a line, come down and match the next point. Draw another line, and this is our last point, all the way down. And then you just add in your little triangle of shadow to make it look all cute and overlappy.
Luthien says it seems there's a lot of patience necessary for doodling.
So I will share with you the same talk. I need to give this talk to Steve multiple times. I'm trying to get him into doodling and drawing, but he feels like it's too tedious. And I think that's the same feeling you're getting out of this, that it's a very tedious thing to do. And it's in the tedium where you will get your relaxation. And so maybe on the next one I can demonstrate why it's so helpful. So that one I had to really talk it through for every stroke. So
yeah, and they're noticing, you know, those skipping, the pen skipping and all of that. So
yeah, that one was more, we had to be really,
so they're fun, but they just don't seem to.
Yep, these pens aren't the best. Nope. But that's okay. We're having fun. All right, what's the next one they want to see? And I'll give the lecture on why the tediousness is good.
Okay. And this will probably come into play. But Mary Morrison says, I love to Zentangle, but I use a pen, pencil, and a ruler.
Yeah.
I find it more relaxing. Sometimes it's fun to break the rules.
Yeah, and you can use a ruler all you want. When I started doing tangling, I used all pencil. I've got a sketchbook right behind me that was my first sketchbook, and I don't share it with anyone because it's my sketchbook, and it was how I learned, and it was all pencil because I was too scared to pick up a pen, and the pens were overwhelming and I couldn't do it. I needed my eraser, And I used rulers, I used pencils and erasers, and now when I doodle, it's all pen. And it was just the process of giving out that control, letting the mistakes happen. And now all my doodles are done with with pens. And so that's fine. You do whatever makes you relaxed and happy. And if you always will forever use pencils and rulers, that's great. You do you. That's good. I'm happy for you. I don't care. So
have you done number 39 yet?
39. Nope, we haven't done 39. This one looks like the shingles on a roof, which is perfect for if you have a coloring page where they didn't add much detail to a roof. You can do it yourself once you learn this one. So let's do that one. Okay, we need a new page. Okay, so why do we do doodling as a relaxing thing? So when I started getting chronic pain, I could not sit. I was a seamstress. Well, I don't know if you call it that. Well, I made clothes. So yeah, I did a lot of sewing. I did craft painting too, and I couldn't sit at my sewing machine anymore, and it was really discouraging, and I couldn't do handwork anymore because my hand would hurt, and I didn't like putting down the handwork, and then I would forget, like which thread was I using, and oh, it was so discouraging. And if I had to put it down for a week and come back to it, I would forget what kind of stitches I was using, and oh, it was so discouraging. So I turned to doodling, and I discovered that when you doodle, you can get lost in it, and time passes really fast. And so I learned from Zentangling. I got a book, and it taught you the rules of Zentangling, that you do these patterns that repeat. That's kind of the trick, is you want to find patterns that repeat. And you can just lose yourself in the repetition, and it's very, very zen. And you don't have to show it to anyone unless it turns out really cool, and then you're like, everyone, you have to see, which is what usually happens. And after the hour and a half or whatever passes, rather than having nothing to show for it, you have this beautiful piece of art. The other thing I discovered is it can go with me everywhere I go. So it comes with me to church, it comes with me to the doctor's office, it comes with me to family and friends' house, it comes with me everywhere I go, and I can share it with people, and it's wonderful. And yes, some of these patterns can be very tedious, but it's in the repetitive motions that you start to lose yourself. You forget the fact that your back is hurting, or you forget the fact that your feet have gone numb, and you forget the fact that, like I said, the doctor hasn't called your name yet. All these things that would upset you, all of it falls behind, and you don't even notice that it's going on anymore, and the time will start passing really quickly. And that's why I do doodling. And then my art started to grow from it, because I discovered I could change the doodles I was learning, and I was good at it. And it wasn't hard to change the doodles or combine doodles that I was seeing being done. And I felt artistic again for the first time, and it was really exciting. And I was like, anybody can do this. They just need to take time to do it. And so that's why it excites me, why I love to share it. Because anybody can do this. If you know how to draw letters, then you can do these kinds of doodles. You just need a place to start. You need prompts like this to show you what to do, and then you can do it. Because if you know how to draw letters, you can do these doodles.
Luthien had asked earlier if you had a book that you'd recommend.
The book I bought was ages ago. I think it was something like Zentangle a Day or something like that.
Somebody recommended that one to her on here.
Yeah, that one was the one that I bought it. I don't think I actually used it, but it inspired me to understand why it was powerful, the actual doodling process. That it wasn't about producing art, it wasn't about following the rules and making the lines straight and getting the doodle exactly right. It was about relaxing, it was about meditating, it was about ignoring the kids playing their loud games next to me. It was about all of that. That book taught me that. And then I discovered online I think it's Tangle. What's the website? I'm sure you guys all know it. It's like this massive database of tangles and doodle prompts. It's like tangles.com or something like that. But it's a huge database of all of these ideas. And when I discovered that, I realized I didn't need to invest any money in books because it was all online. And I could just find all the patterns I needed and then invest the money in sketchbooks and pens and get all the art supplies. So that's what I ended up doing. And then my love of art supplies started. And it grew and grew, and now I have lots of fun things to doodle in. So
you can get caught up on a few comments here. We have Ian says, hello, Bliss from Mexico.
Hello, are you okay, Ian? Are you in the part that had the earthquake? My nephew was there when the earthquake hit, and so I'm all worried about everybody in Mexico right now. Although Mexico is a very big place, and it was just one little place that had the earthquake. But in my mind, it's all of you guys are suffering right now, which is true. Everybody suffers together when things like that happen. So,
Amy said, did you know they make a little spatula for foundation now? I found it at Walmart.
Whoa.
I don't know if that would be useful for your blending, but...
Oh, sounds like I need to go down the cosmetic aisle at Walmart. I have alt boys, and I stopped wearing makeup a long time ago because the only thing I do to make myself pretty are my fingernails anymore. Oh, I brush my hair, too. Steve's looking at me like, you're pretty, you do pretty things. Well, the only thing I do with real effort is my fingernails. And so I don't go down the cosmetic aisle very much anymore. So.
Jill Farkas asked, can you do a video for micron pens?
Ooh, I would love to do that. I love drawing. Most of when I don't draw on my iPad Pro, it's with micron pens. So I love my microns.
And you were asked, where did you buy that stencil?
Oh, that stencil I bought back in the dark ages when Rylan was like 2.
Really?
So I have no idea where.
Like 17 years ago.
Yeah. So that was like at some craft store back in the olden days, back before cell phones. I mean, seriously, that was that long ago, right? I mean, 17 years ago would have been before we were all hauling cell phones around, right?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
So that was the dark ages now. So I'm sorry, I wish I could give you a link because it came with like, I think there's like 20 different stencils in this set and they are fantastic. Sorry. Okay, well this is that doodle. I think I showed it good. I didn't really talk about it, I just demonstrated it while I was lecturing you guys on zenning out. So now you know what my kids go through when I lecture them. Sit down, children. Let me lecture you. Okay, which one would you guys like next?
Let's see. I'm trying to go in order of...
Oh, you're trying to be in order? What a good host you are.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair.
I've got my...
Okay, we've had several requests for number 17.
Number 17. Oh, that's a fun one too. I love this one. If you look closely in a lot of my coloring pages, this one is there in different variations. You're making a funny face, Steve. Let's do the heart with this one. And I'm not going to use the yellow because we had trouble seeing, I think, these two pens on the Facebook one. So we'll go to this one.
Okay. Nancy left a nice comment for you.
Oh.
She says, I'm so proud of you for not giving up on your creativity and life when your pain tried to take over. You're such a great example to me. Love, my sister.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. You're so sweet.
And Robbie says that love of art supplies is so contagious.
Oh, it's so much fun. And my husband, he doesn't even draw and color with me, but he's like, anytime I'm like, ooh, look at these new pens, and he's like, oh, we need to get those for you. And he doesn't even use them. I mean, probably 80% of the stuff we buy, he hasn't even tried, but he's like, let's get them for you. How awesome of a husband do I have? I have to brag about you. Sorry. Okay. All right. Here, I'm going to lecture you again about the power of not centering your doodle design. We have this heart. Again, I could put this right in the center of the heart, but like I did in the square, I offset it on purpose because then if my lines go wonky, it doesn't look as obvious that the lines went weird. So when you're freehanding, not using rulers or anything, the more help you give yourself, the better. So we're not going to center this pattern. We're going to offset it and put the pattern off here. And this is one of those patterns that once you see how it's done, you guys are going to be like, that is so easy. Okay, so there's the first line, and we're going to offset it. So here's the next line. And I think this one is divided into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 pieces. So again through the middle and again through the middle. Okay. Plus, when you offset it, it gives more visual interest anyway. So it's a valid art technique to off-center things anyway. So we're not just doing it as a crutch. We're doing it to be artistic and fancy. Okay, then the next trick is each one of these wedges get to be triangled, like we're putting in a little wedge of pizza or a wedge of pie into each one. And this little pattern has hundreds of variations online too. So once you learn how simple this is and you practice it, you'll be able to goof around and come up with your own variation of this one. This one's really great because it fills big areas fast. So if you want to fill up a big page in your sketchbook really fast, you can. I really need to do a YouTube video about sketchbooks. I love sketchbooks. And I think people who feel like they're not artists shy away from sketchbooks. But I think everyone that feels any inclination to doing art needs a sketchbook because it's just fun to doodle in them, and when you're done you have this whole book that's yours, that you did everything in that book. It's so satisfying. Even pages that aren't that great, it's still satisfying to see them in there. Okay, the next thing is in each of these triangles we made, we're going to do these little sort of half circle shapes, and we want to kind of put them at about the same spot down the triangle. So I'm going to go maybe quarter, half of an inch-ish and make 2 half circles like that, or I don't know what you would call this shape. I always have a hard time coming up with terminology on the fly if I haven't sat and thought it through before filming. It's the only problem with filming live is I haven't had time to think through terminology on the for you guys.
Rex Hamama says, I have a sketchbook, but my mind goes blank when I come to drawing in it.
Yeah, so print these out, fold them up, and tuck them into the front of the sketchbook. And the next time you want to sketch in it, you pull it out and you pick one and you just start with this. You can draw a shape like this and start sketching into it. And then as you go, you're going to find you'll start to be like, oh, I could add this off the side, or I want to just write the word dream and doodle on the word dream. And that's what I do in my sketchbook. And that's how it grows. Or like I'll be at a a church meeting and someone in the meeting will say a word that's sort of inspiring to me, or I'll be watching Netflix and I'll see a design on a wall that's inspiring to me, and I'll doodle that design into my sketchbook. There's lots of ways to get inspired, but you're right, it's that first moment that sometimes is really overwhelming. And so having little things like this folded up into the front of your sketchbook is brilliant. The other thing is I have a full Pinterest board that's called Inspire Me, and that's all that's about, is just things that are beautiful and inspiring, like really cool looking butterflies or neat doors from Rome that just have a neat design that from old Roman architecture. All those kinds of things I put onto that Pinterest board. And anytime I'm like, I don't know what to put onto this sketchbook page, that's when I go to that Pinterest board and I look at all these things I've pre-pinned to inspire me, and that's where I'll start and then just add on to it.
Yeah. Right. In fact, Robbie kind of said the same thing. I doodle when taking notes at church. Usually I doodle words or something like that.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the theme of the message. I like having the lines on the paper for reference papers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do at church too. I have a really hard time sitting through the meetings, partly because of the pain of sitting at church and partly because I get a little bored. You know, church isn't like the most exciting and entertaining thing. And so if I write out the word like faith and then doodle all around it, and if someone else says another word that inspires me, I'll write the word like love or service or something underneath it and then keep doodling around on it. So
Lisa says her son likes to draw, so usually all the sketchbooks in the house are his.
You need to go claim one. Or go to Walmart. Walmart now has tons of great stuff like that. So the trick with sketchbooks, though, is to pick up a sketchbook that, if you're going to be using pens, make sure the paper will not bleed. Thank you. And then also some of the paper is more textured, will have a better tooth for like color pencils. So if you're going to be sketching with color pencils, make sure you have a good tooth. So like a mixed media sketchbook is a really good idea to grab. Those are my favorite, I think, so far that I have found, are the mixed media ones.
Tracy left you a really sweet message. She says, Jennifer, your natural beauty is beautiful. You don't need makeup to be beautiful. You shine like a star.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so there's that one. And of course we could add lots more details and stuff. And that's probably what I would do if it was just in my sketchbook. I would start adding more details now. But that's the basic doodle. And I smeared some of that gel pen, but that's okay. Who cares? That's probably why I would add more details, so I would hide the smears. So there you go. That was number 17.
Okay, you had a few requests for 40.
For 40, okay. Let me mark off 17. And let's see, what time is it? Maybe we'll... Oh, number 40 is so fun. It's like a little puzzle one. Okay, that one will go fast. I'll do a little circle. We'll hit 40 real fast, and then maybe we'll do one more after 40, and we'll call it good for today. So maybe what we should do is I'm going to have everybody do a shout out right now for what number we should do after we're done with number 40. And Steve will kind of look and see which one gets the most votes. Okay.
Okay. And Cute World of Lena Sparkles says, can you please say my name in the video, please?
Cute World of Lena Sparkles?
Yeah.
I love that name. Now I want to use a sparkly gel pen. Okay, we're so going to use a sparkly gel pen. All right, we're abandoning these. Welcome to sparkly gel pen. Sparkly blue. There you go, Cute World of Lena Sparkles. I don't think I got it right that last time, but we'll use that one. Okay, we're doing number 40. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing 40, and right now everybody start shouting out your votes for the very last doodle we're going to do. And Steve's going to attempt in his most best way to try to guess which one you guys want me to demo for our last one. But 40 is the way I did it was I started on the edge and I just sort of went out in squiggles like this, and I tried to hold tight into the original beginning of the squiggle. So it's all built going out and back in. And the good thing about this is now you could color that if you wanted to, because it's a complete enclosed shape. And then the next one, you go out and back in right next to it. So when you first look at it, you can't tell that these are actually enclosed shapes, but they are. So you actually have a negative space you could color in between these shapes, or you could color inside the shapes when you're done, or you just leave it as the doodle shows right here. Either way. So you can come out like this and then back in, and it makes it really easy to do it. It kind of looks like a puzzle, but really what you did is, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of coral or something. And then we'll start over here and come back in. This gel pen works so much better than those others. I feel like I've been struggling for the last 2 hours, and now we're using something that works so much better. So this is the gel writer pens. And of course a glitter pen tends to work better than just a standard gel pen anyway. I think it's the little bit of, what do you call it? I think the little tiny bit of grit, the glitter grit, helps that ball to keep moving. That's my theory. That's Jennifer 101. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's my theory. I think that's why glitter pens in general work better. So you just go around and fill it in. Isn't it cute? So then if you wanted to, you could go back and color all your little shapes, or just leave it like that. See, now you can't even tell that those are all enclosed shapes, but now you have the option of doing more if you want to. Pretty cool, huh? Fast too. Think how cool a whole page covered in that would be. All right, that was 40. Now, what is our final doodle? Can you tell? Can you even guess?
The only one that had 2 was 26.
Okay, he picked 26. Oh, good. This is another one of my original doodles that I first learned. I was telling everybody on Facebook that number 33 was, I think, the very first doodle that I ever learned when I was changing over into the new world of doodling. And I think 26 was also one of the very first ones. You can do them in circles, you can do them in triangles, you can do them in squares, you can mix it up and have some circles, some triangles, some squares. This one is so much fun. My favorite though is to stick with all one shape. I don't know, that's just my preference. You do whatever you want to do. Okay, so we are going to do the oval, because I think the contrast between the oval shape with the squares inside will look very nice. And shall we try the green pen again and see if we can get it to go to green? I don't know if we'll ever get it to go to actual green. I'm determined to get this green pen to go to green. Okay, so I want to remind everybody, you can go to coloringpagesbliss.com, download these for free. So just go on over there. All you have to do is sign up to be a free member, which is absolutely free forever. And I do protect your emails, so don't worry about that. I will protect you. So come over, sign up, and get these downloaded for free. So all I do, again, the more off-centered, the more askew you can set things. Look, I'm getting better terminology the more we go here.
That's good.
Askew. That's such a good word. That's today's word. Askew. The more askew you can set things, the more the eye won't pick up on the fact that my squares are far from perfect. So very far from perfect. So again, you don't need rulers or anything here. This is just about passing time. The other thing about this pattern is you want different sized finished squares. So some are going to be really big, like this one, and then some you want to be small. So that will give you visual interest as you look at it. Now the next square that I'm going to put next to it, you want it to be at an angle to this one so that the lines don't line up next to it, and it'll look a little odd if you do that. And I usually come away a little bit so that they have some space to grow and kind of clash into each other here, like that. Okay, and then we can come over here and kind of want to make sure, like, you don't want to start your square here because then those lines are parallel. You want the lines to be askew, like that. So now we're not parallel to that square, and we're not parallel to that square. So this becomes quite a puzzle, and I think that's why this is very good for losing yourself in a pattern. If you're looking for a pattern to really delve in and lose yourself in it so you can really ignore pain, this is why I love this one, because you really have to think through, okay, I need it to be just a little bit more angled this way so it's more off from that square, and now this one, that means this one needs to be maybe right like this, and it needs to be like that, and I'm going to make it go down here like this, and you can really lose yourself in this pattern, which is so awesome if you're trying to pass time, like you're in a ER waiting, or in a hospital waiting room waiting for someone's surgery to get done, and you're trying to pass time so you won't worry about them. This pattern is perfect. And when you're done, if you fill a whole page with this, holy cow, it would be so gorgeous. And I've done that before. And then you can go back and color, say, every other square you can fill in. And that looks really neat too. I've done a whole page like that too. And that's really cool. So as a YouTuber, I'm going to do the obligatory, make sure you hit like. Make sure you comment if you enjoyed this and want me to do more of these or come up with some more textures and doodle prompts for you. Make sure you comment. And if you share this out, that really helps my channel and helps it to grow so I can do more stuff for you guys. And I want to tell Steve thank you for being here and co-hosting.
You're welcome. We had Mel from Norway join us.
Oh, wow.
She loves these videos.
Cool. Welcome.
She's a new member. And
thank you for your support. I
Christian
really
says he's
appreciate
a
it.
happily paid member.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys have no idea. The paid memberships are such a big deal. It helps us so much. Like, we make just a tiny bit of money here on YouTube, but the paid memberships, that's kind of our bread and butter. So it really helps us. Thank you.
Lisa says, ever since you said anyone can draw, I keep hearing the movie Ratatouille. Anyone can cook. LOL.
That's awesome. But really, though, this kind of doodling, anybody can do it. If you know how to, like I said, if you know how to draw the alphabet, you can do this.
And Oh I So Too said, love the manicure and rings. I always wonder what style manicure you are going to have.
Thank you. I love picking new stuff. I made my son Carter pick these fingernails out, and he's kind of looking at me like, Mom, I really just don't care. Mom, no, help me pick. Should I get these ones or these ones? And he's just looking at me like, Mom.
Whatever you want.
It was awesome. I really need to take a girl with me next time I pick out my fingernails.
Get a couple requests for more doodles.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when we get done here, remember all your comments just disappear into YouTube oblivion. For some reason, I don't know why they don't keep the comments in YouTube. So if you pop back on after we post this YouTube video, it becomes actual video on my channel. Then if you come back and comment again, that would help my channel so much. I know that's like asking a lot for people to come back to a video. It really is in the YouTube world to come back again to a video.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
people never do that.
Rarely do. Yeah, rarely do that.
So, but that does help my channel. Little things like that make the little YouTube Google bots.
Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, you guys are so awesome. We really, this gives me so much joy, and I love sharing my art. I'm just sitting here coloring now. Like I said, I lose myself in these patterns, and I just like could sit here all day. And sometimes I do. When I have a lot of pain, I just pull out my sketchbook, and this is what I do. I have, I don't know how many sketchbooks full of this kind of stuff. So, and I get covered in glitter and gel. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty. I love it. I love getting messy with art stuff. I love it. Thank you to Glitter, or whatever your name is, because now I have glitter on me. So, and as far as my final view on these, I don't know if it was worth the $5. So maybe I'll give these to my niece. These work.
She's probably watching. Oh, great! I'm gonna get the
give her the reject pens. Oh dear.
Sorry, Claire.
Sorry, Claire. Maybe I don't know. I haven't given Holly anything lately. Maybe we should reject pens to Holly next. Oh, now Claire's like, no, me.
Yeah, because they can still be fun.
My nieces are like, they get all my reject pens. They don't care
nice
though. Yes, I do spoil them too, so because they deserve it. So you guys are awesome. You deserve spoiling too. So watch for the next video. I put a lot of work in this upcoming video, and you're gonna love it. And let me give you 2 words: polychromos and Prismacolors. Da-da-da-da! You're gonna love it. So watch for it. It's coming soon. I filmed it last night, so woohoo! It's gonna be awesome. You guys are awesome, and I think we're done for today. So thanks again for joining me, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye, everybody.